welcome to Sternly Speaking, a real estate podcast. I'm Brooke.
And I am Steph.
And we are in our second season doing real estate myth busting. And today's myth is you should always make repairs or upgrades to your home before listing. And I have a few questions I'm going to ask Steph so that she can break it down and help us understand why that's a myth, but why it might not always be a myth.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, cool. So do you have anything to say about this myth before I go into the questions?
No, because I will probably just answer all of your
Just
questions
go through,
I start talking. So we'll just go through the questions.
Okay. So in what instance would repairs be recommended, or would you recommend to the sellers that they make upgrades or repairs? And then what are some cheap cosmetic fixes that go a long way? And should you ever sell as is? So basically just help me understand, because it is so dependent on the situation.
Yeah.
Like, help me understand in what situations would you make those recommendations for major repairs, for cosmetic repairs, or no repairs at all?
Yeah. Well, let's start with maybe the no repairs. Mm-hmm. So we just got a call yesterday, somebody who's looking to list a home. Their mom had passed away. Mm-hmm. She was the one who was in the home. So the home is really dated. And obviously the kids would like to get as much money out of the sale of the home as possible. It's their inheritance, right? And so her question was, I would like somebody to come over and tell me, you know, should I do any updating, upgrading, any repairs, anything like that?
Yeah.
So here's the problem with that is when you have an entire house that is dated, if I go in and let's just say the only thing I do is baseboards, or the only thing I do is paint, or I decide I'm going to do one bathroom, all I've done is I've shown now everything else that is not done.
Yeah.
And that sticks out like a sore thumb. So it would be nice to walk into this one bathroom and see that it was done, but then I walk out of the bathroom and think, holy cow, I have the biggest project ever.
Yeah, you have that comparison.
Yep, and so it actually ends up hurting them because now the buyer feels a burden with the home. Instead of being able to just come in and start doing changes or updates or upgrades as they live in it, they now feel, I have to do this before I can even live in it.
Yeah.
And so in that situation, where it's going to be either you're doing the whole house or you're not doing it kind of situation.
Yeah.
So on those ones, you know, I always tell them, price it correctly and let's put it on market and see, because you're probably going to spend way more money trying to get it up to this level and not getting your return out of it.
Yeah.
So now on the ones where, what was it? Maybe we should do something.
Yeah. So in what instance would you recommend repairs?
So a lot of the times if their carpet is worn, right, or paint, those are the two things that will return the most value on your investment and cost you the least amount, is to go and just put new carpet, new flooring in, and then just do new paint and new baseboards. Your house instantly will look so much better.
Gotcha.
So that one, now, would I ever recommend doing something that's more major, maybe cost $20,000 or something to get into? Depends on if we're trying to break into another price bracket. If we did this one thing, we invested $20,000, could we move up into a different price bracket and I could make them more than the $20,000 that they invest? And so it's really important to have us come over for just a consultation to walk through the home to say, yes, this makes sense, or no, this doesn't. Especially in slower sellers markets, kind of like that we're in, the likelihood of being able to get your money out.
Sorry.
I saw it in my window.
Did you see it? It was the stupidest thing.
It's just a flying plastic bag. And I saw your eyes be like, I'm really trying to hold conversation right now. But I can't help that a plastic bag is flying past the window.
But anyway, what were we even talking about?
I don't know. You're going to have to go clip that because now I'm past what I was saying.
Price bracket, $20,000.
Price bracket, 20. If I can go get them, you know, we go up to the next price bracket, we can get them their investment they put in and then some money. then it makes sense.
Gotcha.
Oh, I was saying before the plastic bag, this is why you need us to come over
Yes.
to your house.
Yeah.
So people call us in and they'll say, hey, we just want to know the value. Can't you just give us a value over the phone? I can't give you a value for your home over the phone. I can give you a range that's in the area, but there will be things like the condition of your property will change how we value it out. And you might be willing to do some repairs that make sense that would increase that value on your home.
Yeah.
So, but in the slower markets like we're in right now, unless you're going to go in and really put in a lot to move yourself up, it's just not worth it right now.
Gotcha.
Price correctly according to your condition. You're just not going to see the return on the money that you're going to go and put in right now.
And would you say that that's market dependent or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's market dependent. Well, yes and no, because sometimes it just still doesn't make sense. But in a slower market for sellers, it's even harder to get that out.
I see.
Then, if you're in a hot seller's market, I can go in and put money into carpet and paint and things like that and then return a lot more on my investment, then it makes sense. And then I might be willing to do a bathroom.
Gotcha. And do you ever recommend, so do you have that conversation with sellers and say like, hey, this roof is really old and someone's going to need to come in and replace it. We're going to have to offer like some concessions or something like that. Is that ever a conversation that you have, or do you always recommend
set
that
expectations up front that, hey, tell me the age of your roof. If they say it's the original roof, we will have a conversation that could be something that will hit your inspection. So just be ready for it.
Yeah.
We'll deal with it when it comes, but just have the expectation that that's probably coming through.
Okay. Gotcha. So
But-
it's never a jump to let's replace.
No, because they might want to go after something else. Something
Yeah.
else might be a bigger deal
Yeah.
to them. I had a home with a buyer where the roof did need to be redone, but we found mold in the house and there was a radon issue in the house. And so to my buyers, they were like, okay, we don't mind saving up and doing a roof because there was 2 years left in the roof. We want the seller to go take care of the mold and the radon issue.
Gotcha. That makes
And
sense.
so it just depends on
So,
what
yeah.
becomes most important.
Yeah.
I mean, you might sell to a buyer who's a roofer, right? And he's going to want to
Totally.
go do his own roof.
Gotcha. Way smarter to wait to see what the buyer
Yes.
Once.
Right. Requests.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow. Super good advice. I love that.
So the answer on this myth is maybe.
Just to wrap it all up in one word. Nice.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Oh, well. This is the second to last episode of season 2. We will jump into season 3, the episode after next. So if you have any comments or ideas for season 3 and what you want to see discussed, let us know in the comments. Yeah, I don't think we have anything else. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope you have a great day.